Okay, so that's the build your own clone flanger. What I wanted to just show here is basically how I've got it running in what seems to be a really close approximation to the Electric Mistress. Build your own clone has this switch here for the different mode settings. This is differential mode down. I've labeled that the Mistress setting, and then the setting up front is the setting for the normal flanger, kind of like an MXR. So that's what I've got, and what I was just trying to demonstrate there in the intro there was like a David Gilmour kind of tone with a little bit of delay, and the background part of that was just clean with a little bit of delay, and then the distortion had kind of the lead sound. This is it without any the effects on. Just a flanger. What was important in doing this, getting it to sound like Electric Mistress, has a lot to do with using the flanger second bucket brigade device. Usually there's the 2 slots in there for a standard 1024 bucket brigade, and in doing some mods to this pedal, separate from what's normally part of the build, I use the 2048. It's twice the delay as the standard one in the second slot. When you do that, there's a issue with the volume between standard and the differential mode, where the volume will change. And so one of the things that I put on the build your own clone site is a way to kind of move the switch so that it allows you to have a better mix of the two. Let me just kind of quickly demonstrate that. So what you hear there is kind of it's a better balance between the single and the differential, whereas before it was kind of a compromise where the differential was set by a specific resistor value in the circuit, a little bit lower, and what you ended up having was kind of a boost, because basically when these two are mixed together at the same level, you're going to get twice the signal for the delayed part, mixing them with the clean. So the switch that I put on the build your own clone site kind of shows how that's different. The other thing that's nice with this is that there's really hardly, you can hear the switching, but it's not nearly as loud as it was before in the original location, so that's a nice benefit too. The other thing is, so I've got the way it mixed at the input of the op amp instead of through the resistors first. I use the op amp as a specific mix point. Really lends itself to having a much cleaner type of mix. I was experiencing some flanger feedback, which was kind of annoying, but if you listen to this, this is very much like the Andy Summers tone. And with a little bit of delay in there. So it's a really nice Andy Summers now in the differential, and of course I think it's mostly because you've got these two different delay lines, but that gives a really good approximation when you do that. And that's it with a little bit of a reverb. That Andy Summers tone really leans heavily on having some additional reverb, which is actually pretty nice. So that I really like. So that's the flanger with the Andy Summers. When you have it in the MXR mode, that really lends itself a lot more to having a standard MXR type in the single mode. Basically, turn up the flanger, chorus around there. Let's see if I can try that. I've got. That's just on a Strat. I probably have to do a different one with humbuckers and have this gain set a little bit more like Van Halen would, but it's pretty distinct. You can't really get that type of a normal flanger tone when it's in that differential. So for me at least, having that combination really does a nice job for having both choices there, of having something that's a lot like Electric Mistress, which is really good for David Gilmour, definitely Andy Summers with the Police, and then having the standard type of MXR type of flanger is really good for when you're doing Van Halen stuff or Barracuda or what have you, right? Those standard flanger ones. The other thing that I thought was interesting about this, once I had it set up properly, you get a nice put a little bit of delay in there. So that's kind of a reasonable sitar type of sound, which I thought was just kind of like an added benefit. But for the most part, just wanted to kind of show how the Build Your Own Clone actually does a pretty decent job of the Police. I'm not going to try and show my skills at being like Andy Summer, but besides that, I'll have a lot of the information on the Build Your Own Clone site. There's just a few tweaks that would be needed to the normal board to get a good mix, but it's definitely worth doing. Alright.